Hi everybody, this is the baseball hype, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion. Your host, welcome back to the Baseball Hut 2, and hopefully you like this video. This is going to be a fun video because we get a reaction from somebody you haven't heard from in a long time. As you know, the baseball world is askew right now because the New York Mets have not spent millions and billions of dollars this offseason, and they let old-time Mets, Edwin Diaz and Alonso leave. They traded Brandon Nimmo. What did people think was going to happen when they collapsed in 2025? That there was going to be a reaction to the players. How do you hold players accountable when a bad situation with your team occurs? Give more money? You hold on to them? No, you let them walk. You trade some of them. Some players that are untradeable. Francisco Lindor is untradeable. Juan Soto's not going anywhere. He's here for the duration. He's here for at least another 4 years. But we've gotten so many reactions from so many different quarters. A lot of them have their own agendas. Like Adam Ottavino, for instance, has a YouTube channel. He's desperate to get people to watch because it's garbage. He just spreads, BS and gossip and nothing of value. Then you have former players that are so-called insiders, like Todd Frazier, Eric Kratz, AJ Brzezinski, guys that, what do they have to say that's interesting? But they'll attack the Mets because, one, a lot of their former teammates aren't making the money that they were. Frazier was a teammate of Pete Alonso. He's mad that Pete's not getting money here. And they had to attack the Mets because they're not spending money outdoor. And we also have other reactions from WFAN lunatics like Joe Beningo saying that the Mets are going to get run like the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's crazy. Telling it and starting his rant on Monday on the fan that when the Mets traded Tom Seaver, he felt violated. What? If only these people reacted. If these so-called men ever reacted to real life problems, we'd have a much safer world and a much nicer world because then they'd be reacting to things that are more important than this. Love sports, but it's not that important, folks. And these players, Edwin Diaz and Pete Alonso, had contracts for 2026 and opted out of contracts that they signed with the Mets. Now, the Mets gave them player options. They could have stayed. What was keeping Pete from leaving? Nothing. What was keeping Edwin from leaving? Nothing. Other than they both wanted to make more money. It's all about money, money, money. That's all it's about. The Mets offered, Diaz $3 million less, and he took the $3 million more from the Dodgers. But we've had all these different reactions, and I'm shocked by this. This is actually pretty funny. This reaction comes from a former manager, the manager after Terry Collins. I did a video on him. Where he just ripped into the core, saying that the core keeps failing, you got to break them up, need change. But here we have his predecessor, the guy that followed him. That's Mickey Callaway. Now, we haven't heard from Mickey for years. Not since 2020 with the Mets, in 2019 when he got fired. And then he went to the Angels, and then he got in trouble because he was texting all kinds of women, ding, 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 trying to get a date. And he got Me Too. Now, I would mention, he did not commit a crime. He should get back into baseball. There's nothing really. Just don't let him have a phone. Don't let him use a phone. And his time with the Mets was a disaster. And he was a former pitching coach with the Indians, and he was a great pitching coach. The biggest reason that Jacob deGrom won 2 Cy Young Awards is him as manager, helping out. Wish he was the Mets pitching coach the last few years. Only things don't let him near any women. Anyway, this is from the New York Post. Former Mets manager Mickey Callaway's warning after start exodus. Do we need a warning from this guy? Quote, it better work. It better work. Who the hell cares what he says? Who wrote this article? Let's take a look and see who wrote this article. Just that. Mark Suleimanov. Whoever the hell, I have no idea who this puppet is. Pete Alonso was the next David Wright, quote unquote. Brandon Nimmo was a stalwart in the making who needed cooking lessons. Edwin Diaz was the prized all-star closer who couldn't get it going. Mickey Callaway is the helm for plenty of drama during his 2 years as Mets skipper and knows better than most the consequences of losing in New York. That's why in the midst of the Mets' transformative offseason, Callaway understands why his former team moved on from 3 franchise pillars. When I look at this, it seems to me the front office, David Stearns and probably Steve Cohen, are looking at guys and going, hey, these guys were our main guys for 6 or 7 years, and we haven't won with them. Well, no kidding, Mickey. No kidding. Now, as you know, Mickey got himself into a lot of trouble, not just with the whole thing with the ding. No. It was also, you don't ever say to Mickey, if you're a reporter, don't say to Mickey, Mickey, have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow. He got into a fight with the Newsday reporter. Never forget that. I wish I was doing channel that. Because I would have covered that. We would have had a lot of laughs with that. But he attacked the reporter. That's a big deal, believe me. So maybe they're saying we need to change the scenery, a change of culture, and some leadership because we're spending too much money to be a mediocre team. That's right. There you go, Mickey. And it's funny about Mickey Callaway. He looks like the actor from Seinfeld who played Mickey. He looks just like him. You ever see pictures of that actor? He looks just like him. Callaway is 50, managed the Mets from 2018 to 2019. Posted middling results as the team missed the playoffs both seasons while compiling a 163-161 record before his dismissal. However, the Callaway era also helped lay the foundation for 3 perennial All-Stars and fan favorites. Nimmo enjoyed his first breakout season in 2018 and a 263 with 17 homers before missing the following spring after undercooking some chicken, which was later debunked. So much stuff happened. That's not big. I don't remember that. The following year, Alonso delivered a historic rookie campaign, set an MLB record of 53 homers, and a prompting Callaway to dub him the next day right in the organization. There's no doubt in my mind, he said. The same season, Diaz, who arrived from the Mariners in a blockbuster 7-player trade, struggled mightily in his Mets debut, blowing 7 saves while pitching to a 5.59 ERA. He is the reason why the Mets did not go to postseason in 2019. Is Edwin Diaz. That's really what it comes down to. Nimmo and Alonso remained fixtures in the Mets lineup, and Diaz overcame his rocky start to become one of baseball's elite closers, and according to Callaway, the most surprising of the 3 to depart. After the last couple of years of Alonso and all the stuff in the press, I thought there was a chance he could leave at some point, although I think he would have loved to stay because I know he loves it there. But the one that really shocked me was Edwin. The way he's been closing for them the last few years, that's a big hole to fill. It's a big gamble, but I guess they just wanted to move on, move forward, and see what else they can do. I mean, that's pretty level-headed. Let's have former closer of the Yankees, Devin Williams, and began to post Alonso, and they signed, of course, veteran infielder Jorge Polanco. Mets are also engaged with the San Diego Padres in several pitching options, according to Scott Boras whisperer John Heyman reported. Callaway was suspended in 2020 over sexual harassment allegations while a member of the Angels staff, as the latest ex-Met to weigh in on the offseason. Former third baseman Todd Frazier eviscerated the team for not retaining the beloved trio, questioning their entire approach. Yes, you're not spending billions of dollars on my friends, so I want to attack you. Who cares if the fans suffer due to this losing? Now, I would mention this. This is important to remember. Having these kinds of historical collapses is statistically impossible. Having one of them is statistically impossible. The fact that this has happened over the last 20 years 3 times, okay? This happened 3 times in the last 20 years. You have to question why that has happened. That is statistically impossible in the history of sports, in the history of Major League Baseball. Very suspicious to me, to be honest with you. It's statistically impossible for the first time for it to happen. But to have it happen the following year in 2008, and then have it again in 2025 in a different kind of way, it is statistically impossible and historically impossible for it to happen 3 times to the same franchise in less than 20 years. Something is fishy. And if you don't think that the response is to get rid of the players, then you're not thinking straight. Okay? That's what people don't understand. I felt after 2007 that the Mets should have gotten rid of some players off of that team and had a different kind of personality and a different kind of approach in that clubhouse. They didn't do that. They added on. This is what things that people like Joe Beningo and some of these clowns at the fan don't understand. It is statistically impossible to do this stuff. So there must be something within these players. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're well-pump players and nice guys that can't handle being mean on the field. You have to be mean on the field to be a winner. And the fact they haven't done this, they keep, and of course they keep doing this and doing this and doing this, then you have to figure out what's going on here. Either something fishy is going on, or these guys are so nice that they lay over for themselves. But to see all these different people coming around, I mean, expecting, just man on the street. What do you think, man on the street? About what's going on with the Mets. It's like everybody has an opinion on it, but they don't want to look at it in an honest way. It's statistically impossible to collapse like this. But it keeps happening. Something doesn't feel right. And nobody wants to ask that question. Well, I'll ask it. But you let me know what you think about this video. And of course, this is the Baseball Hut 2. Thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button. I'll see you later.